Hello and welcome to a new episode at Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Ahmed Assaf, and today we have an amazing guest, Haleh Haidari. How are you, Haleh?
Yes, very well, Ahmed. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to be a guest on your
You're
podcast. I'm
most welcome.
super excited. So,
So today we'll be discussing with Haleh lots of essential, crucial things in our life, starting with the fear that we're having in changing our career path or making those critical decisions in our life. And another thing, we will be discussing being a coach because Hala being in the coaching business, like, and how she applied coaching as a being as a mom. And then we'll be discussing more and diving more about how to have that consistency and persistent to achieve your goal. So let's start. If you could share a little bit about your experience being in the nursery, then moving, diving more, and then making those shifts in your life, and how you make those critical decisions to just pursue your goal and achieve looking for your purpose.
sure. It's just a little background. It's everything, I think, actually, all my career that I've done, or all the different types of careers, I should say, it's kind of fallen not onto my lap, but it's kind of come together. And I had a business for 20 years providing childcare in the UK, in London. And, it was really my baby. When I went into it, I had no idea about it at all, how to run a business, especially looking after children, other people's children. But it was a risk that I took. It kind of fitted in with my lifestyle at the time. My son was little, so I just wanted to be around him a little bit more. Prior to that, I was in retail, which again, I worked my way up and, starting my own nursery and all the logistics, all the different laws in childcare, all the different legislations, all the policies, it was all completely new for me. But, I had to learn on the job as I went along. I know it was a big risk for me to take. It's always more difficult looking after others' children than your own,
So it was because
and
of your baby you come to this business.
yes, I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
And you don't
Yeah.
have any experience in it. So this would be a great message to our audience that if you want to do something, if you have a great idea, you should not know everything about it at the beginning. It's enough to have the dream, and then things will fall on the.
Absolutely. I mean, I was always interested in psychology in
Mhm.
general. Anyway, I did my degree in psychology. I was interested about child development also. That was an area that I was really interested, especially when I had my own son. And of course, I did all the training that I needed to do. But going into it, it really was not in my plan to have to open up my own nursery so quickly after having just been qualified. So it was a risk, and it was a wonderful way to. I think I kind of learned the type of a person that I need to be thrown into it. I think had I sat back and really thought about all the, I don't know how to do this, how is it going to be? I have no idea about this. And I think a lot of the time we get so thrown into the details of how something is going to be that it's actually going, overwhelms you and stops you from doing it. I just knew that I wanted to do it. I had great support behind me. Obviously, I had a lot of people that I reached out to help me along the way. And it really was a big learning curve the first few years. It was tough. It was really, really hard. But you learn as you go along, and I'm just proud that I did it for 20 years. I never thought I would do it for so long. I'm proud of what I have achieved because now some of those children are kind of they're teenagers now, and I do see some of them in our local area, and I just think how wonderful that they've had fantastic early years experience because, as you know, the first 5 years of your life is sort of sets you up for,
Hmm.
you know, for who you become. So yeah, so I was just very lucky. I had a always had a great team behind me. I knew what I wanted to provide because I wanted the same thing for my own son. So I knew I wanted a place where children felt safe, they were looked after. So, it would just it all came together somehow. And
Yeah,
yeah, it
you
was
don't, you did not ask the how
I
because
did
you,
not ask the how. No,
yeah,
I honestly did not ask the how. It was an opportunity that came, and the only how I was going to raise the money to start this business. That was
yeah,
really the only how for me at the
yeah.
time.
But even you
So,
didn't ask it as how to do it. You ask what action should I take? Whom should I
yes,
contact?
yeah,
How can I
yeah.
change my perspective to arrange that funding?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it was really, I just think when something is meant to be, kind of the universe aligns everything with
Exactly.
you
It's just
and,
only
and it
decided.
all comes together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and really it was the same when I always did think, I always had a vision that at
Mhm.
some point I wanted to actually become a therapist. That was my sort of ultimate kind of goal. And then I looked into life coaching as a result. But I think again, gone into this life coaching business a few years ago, it really was a matter of when, just the timing was right. I think again, it coincided with me when I turned 50 a few years ago. I kind of thought, okay, I've got maybe another 10, 15 years working life of what I want to do. And really, I should really pursue sort of the vision I've always had. I always had this vision of be like have white hair, long white hair sitting in a room and I will be working with people. And actually, that vision has always stayed with me. So
Yeah, and
throughout all of my, pardon?
this is the question that all our audience should ask themselves. What are they waiting for?
Yeah.
Waiting for the perfect time
Yeah,
or
there
perfect
isn't it.
opportunity? There's nothing called like as a perfect time or a perfect opportunity. It will not come to you. So you made a decision, you want something, but nothing happened until you act on it, until you make your decision to go to make this change. But making this decision, it was getting with fear, right? So
Yeah.
how did you overcome all those feelings in making this transition?
Yeah, it was again, I just knew that I wanted to do this.
Hmm.
And for me, the most important kind of aspect of this was I want to get trained from the best. I want to learn as much as I can about it. Um, and that was really my ultimate kind of next steps, I guess. I think, had I sat back and thought about, who are my clients going to be? Where am I going to practice from? Do I know enough? When I go through all of these things, I get very overwhelmed. Again, it's the finer details, and I guess as important as it is, those details actually gave me the fear of not to do it. And sort of I put those sort of at the back of my head. I thought I just need to get trained up, learn as much as I can about it. But I always know it's not going to be easy. I mean, it's for anybody who wants to reinvent, rebrand themselves, it's really, really hard. And in a field that I'm still learning about it. I really didn't know, I mean,
Yeah,
much about it.
it's
And
a great opportunity to share that. What you're saying that you went to the best coaches, you went to the people who have the knowledge. You want to learn from the best, and it's a process, it's a journey. But once you made the decision, it's not enough. You acted on it. You make the decision. You know
yeah,
what you want. then you decided and you defined what you have to pay in return, like
Yeah.
knowledge, change, money, effort, because nothing will come to you
Mm.
unless you pay for it. And the
Yes,
third
and
one, you were
really,
willing to do that. You were
yes.
willing to pay the cost.
Yeah, of course. And I knew that, I think another thing is not to be scared to fail because it
Mhm,
might all fail. I was very happy doing what I was doing.
mhm,
It wasn't like I didn't enjoy what I was doing, but I just wanted to follow on through with my purpose. And it was actually when I was getting trained, um, by a wonderful coach. That was a pivotal moment because that was the time because I had to go through coaching myself. That was when I kind of decided that it is possible to
mhm.
do it, and yes, yeah, that's
But
how it kind of happened. And it's very strange that the minute the decision was made, it was just such a smooth transition for me to, put the company up for sale, found an incredible buyer that I was happy with to pass on, I suppose, what I had built up for so many years. And it was very smooth, the whole thing. But we identify, I think, ourselves when we do something for so long. And then it was like, my God, my identity has been
it's,
taken away from me, and now I have to create a new thing for myself. And it's frightening. It's not easy. I still have moments of doubts, but but what pushes me through is that I know that I want to learn. I'm curious about this world of life coaching still. It excites me. Meeting people like you, people inspire me. So and for me, I think throughout my life journey, I've always wanted to learn. And
mhm.
I'm curious about the next thing that is there, so
Here's
yeah, it's
yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy. That's why, but it's not impossible. It's something
It's
once you
wonderful.
decided, all the opportunities will come to you at the right time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the decision that you made, it was not easy. Your identity for like your work for the whole 20 years, you just put it aside. But you have a goal that no one see it other than you. You have a vision, you have a purpose, much bigger. Because if you ask yourself, you wherever you win in that project that you've done for the 20 years, you can do much better in the something that you really love to do much more. So if this is the question for the audience, that wherever you are right now, just ask yourself, where are you winning and why are you winning? And if you don't like what you're doing, go look for something else. And here we have our coach, Hala. She make a huge shift after 20 years being in that domain. She decided to sell her company and use all her knowledge that have been gained through those years. And she starts from a new business, a new field, a new way of thinking, regardless of her age, regardless of all the things that she thought about her goal, her passion.
That's right. Yeah. I think as also as you grow older, there are two ways of looking at it. Either you become less kind of you want to take more risks because you have a lot more experience behind you and self-belief and some kind of a more maturity behind you,
Mhm.
or it becomes a lot harder because you think, well, I'm happy where I am, but I think if you really want something, you do need to step out of your comfort zone. I mean, it's not going to um be a straight road. There are a lot of zigzag lines along the way and obstacles you have to cross. And,
Mhm.
by all means, it hasn't been easy, but that pivotal moment when the decision was made, that was the hard bit. I think everything else kind of flows, but that decision is really hard to make for some people. And I know, kind of speaking to a lot of people, especially when you're kind of midlife and mid 50s, you're happy where you are. There's no need to kind of shake the boat. You're just sailing through. But But sometimes, it needs to be shaken up a bit if it's something that you really, really want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard to take that step to
I
make that
I would
decision.
love to highlight on your advice on those three things.
Mm,
Just first, stop worrying about others. What are they thinking about you?
yeah,
The
yeah,
second thing is make the discipline as your friend and priority in your life.
yeah,
And the third thing, which is your identity you're talking about,
yeah,
make your identity transformation as a part of your identity because
yeah,
we can never outperform your identity. So whatever your identity, it's your results. So
yeah.
that's why we should make shifts in our identity to have different and bigger and impactful results. And that's what you did. Exactly that's what you did.
Yes,
But
yeah.
now, if I ask you, Hala, regarding being a coach as a mom, how did that help you in your life? And how did you apply that, having this mental health, how you equipped yourself and your family with those tools and apply it in at your home?
Do you know, when you go, for anyone who's gone through the process of life coaching, it is about really, as you know, about self-discovery, self-development. And I remember when I was first, and I'll never forget this, when I was first looking into who I wanted to go through to do my training, I rang a lot of life coaches, and there are a lot out there. And the lady that I decided to go with, she completely inspired me. And I remember she said in our interview before I was signing up for the course, she said, even if you don't do anything with this at the end of it as a career, you will learn so much about yourself and things that you didn't know, that it would really be a win-win situation. So that was kind of, I said, okay, great. I have learned so much about myself. I have learned to be actually, I have learned I'm more courageous than I thought I was. I think it takes certain bravery to do a shift in your life, to make a change in your life. As a mom, well, my son was kind of leaving home and setting his own path in life, so as much as parents, we want to kind of um, put through what we think our children should do, and sort of give them our own knowledge. I've kind of learned to step back and really give him the power to make his own mistakes, and that it's okay to make mistakes. And I really want him to look at me as someone and say it's okay to change. You don't have to stay where you are. You can change at any time, and if you fail, that's okay too. You have to learn from your mistakes. And I hope he looks at me like that. I think I listen a lot more to kind of what he thinks. And that goes with all my kind of relationships, my friendships. I like to think I've become a bit better listener, and kind of read between the lines and really question them when they say something, So I think I've become more patient, much more patient than I was before. And you get a different outlook on life when you go through life coaching. And, again, I've learned a lot of things about me with my relationships with people. There's certain things that, you know, I I admire in people. Just everybody has a story, I think, and I'm interested to learn that about them. And so, yeah, listening has been sort of the key thing that I have learned. It's still learning in progress, but but when you listen to people, you see how much comes out of that conversation. So
Mhm.
that has been super important for me. And, my son is just making his own path into the world. And I've kind of realized that it's a natural cycle of life, is a natural progression, and I cannot control it. I cannot hold on to it. And, it's to kind of let him go and make his own mistakes, and knowing that there'll always be hopefully somebody to pick up the pieces. But I just want him and kind of that generation to know that just because you start off in life in one way, uh, that can change, and that will change, because your needs will change, who you are as a person will change, your values will change. So, I mean, I don't know of anyone who have started in life in one career and have ended up in the same career. There's always been little things that they have done here and there. So, it's about growth. I want him to
Mhm.
to know that it's okay to grow.
I want to go to the beginning of this question that you said you went to coaching and your coach said that the benefit that you'll take, it's much bigger than being a coach in life. And this would be an opportunity to really just make it crystal clear to all the audience. Once you go to a coach, whoever he is, most of them, they thought that just they will give you, like, they will help you or guide you or empower you to get a goal. But the intention must be different than that. It must be much deeper and much thinking of yourself, who is the person I want to become after being coached, and how much I'm coachable to get to the point, not protecting from the person, not protecting myself from the person who I want to become. And this is the goal of coaching, because the achievement of the goal, it's a result of being coached. But don't think of that result. Think of the benefits that you'll take as your identity shift, as your attitude, as your standards and your philosophy, everything, your approach to have this world-class life. That's the benefits that you'll take. It's much deeper than achieving a goal, because
Yes.
achieving the goal, it's by default, it's by result. And the other thing I would love to highlight is listening. Listening is the key. Every day, I develop listening, and listening by heart. It's the more you listen and the more you develop this your intuition, because you start reading the vibration that's coming from the person in front of you. And the third thing I would love to highlight what you said is letting go. It's by law. This is the life cycle, as you said, and it's moving. We cannot control anything. We cannot work opposite to those laws. If we come to we decide, if we're talking now to the audience and they have a want, authentic want. So what would be the tools that they should be using through their journey to keep them up to achieve their goals?
You know, um, we all have a goal in life, don't we? I mean, if we didn't, we would be staying where we are, even if a goal of, I don't know, making a plan to go travel next week. It doesn't have to be a massive goal, but we do set goals even without us knowing about it, So um, I think when you set a goal that is like myself, which is quite drastic change, you also have to look at your values and who you are, and they have to align, and if they don't, it really is not, I don't think it's possible to, without really looking at yourself deeply, looking at your beliefs, what you believe, what you want this thing to look like. It's not possible. You need the bigger picture at the end of it. And it's and what the self-belief in yourself is really important. We all have limiting belief. There are days when I still think, did I do the right thing and how is it going to be? But I look at kind of where I am in my life. I have a lot of life experience behind me. And yes, it's competitive out there, but there is something that sets me apart. So, and I kind of hone in on that. Beliefs are just thoughts that we have. And, as you know, in coaching, thoughts can be changed. They're the easiest thing that can be changed, so it's really honing in on that, waking up in the morning. If you think you could, if you think you're going to have a bad day, guaranteed you're going to have a bad day. So it's your thoughts that need to be changed. It's your self-belief about yourself. It's those patterns of I can't do something that needs to change. And I think people are still going to coaching thinking, oh, the coach is going to say, okay, what is your goal? Okay, you need to do
Magic
X, Y,
Jimmy.
and Z to get there. It's not like that. It's just not like that. I think in a coaching session, a good coach will really get you to really look at what is stopping you, your limiting beliefs, and really to give you a picture of once, not even once you get the goal, when you're in your goal, what does it look like? What does it feel like? And the image becomes so strong that you actually feel like you've been doing it all your life, and then it becomes possible. That this is what I learned in NLP coaching, that I had such a vision. I even with my coach, we even sat that's kind of in my head. I visioned how the sale of this company was going to be like. The letter I was going to write to my staff and to everybody to say, I am making this shift. In my head, I had already written it. So it was really, you become so good at changing your thought patterns that anything seems possible. So that is really important, and really to um, everybody has the tools in in themselves, the resources in themselves, but somehow they kind of stay hidden, and you just need somebody to get those resources out. There are a lot of techniques you can do, a lot of visualization, reframing of your thoughts, something that you think that you cannot do. If you reframe that thought in your head, you will be able to do it. So it's a lot more different than, I think even my friends still don't really know what coaching is. They think, oh, somebody comes, I want to, I don't know, pack my job in and start something new, and how do I do it, and these are the steps, these are the actions. It's not like that, it's a lot more deeper than that, because you have to hone in into your self-belief and things that are stopping you to do whatever you want in life. I think I have learned that again, coming back to age, I think turning 50 a few years ago was a pivotal moment for me, because it really shifted a lot of things in me. I had to change my lifestyle. I had to change. I wanted to make a bigger change, find my purpose in life. And, and it also coincided maybe not lucky for me so much with COVID, where we had so much time at home to really sit down without any outside influences. It was just us in our home, and to really reflect on, like, I'm sure, like a lot of people, I read somewhere actually, 20% of people after COVID, they kind of changed something in their life because you had time to sit still without any external influences, without anybody kind of,
I'm
you
one of
know,
them.
you're one of them, without anybody kind of influencing you. It's just you and your thoughts. And, what a great way. I still love to self-reflect. I think, there are always, people that for the goodness of you, not that they don't want you to succeed, but there are a lot of voices, especially when you go through a massive change. It's a lot of, are you sure you want to do it? Why would you want to do it? So that almost puts a negative aspect on something. But I was lucky it was during COVID and I had none of that. So I had a lot of time to think, about
Yeah.
what this change was going to look like. Again, as I said, the details were not important for me. Actually, I didn't even thought behind much more than, okay, I need to get a good trainer and I need to learn as much as I can. That was as far as I went.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything starts with your mind, with your thoughts and an idea.
yeah,
And the best thing, as you said, is studying yourself deeper and deeper every day.
yeah,
Understand you have infinite potential, you have unlimited potential. It's up to you. Either you'll be creating every day or disintegrating. You cannot be in the middle. You cannot be in the gray area,
No.
black or white. Either you are creating or disintegrating. So now I'm talking to the audience. Please, if you feel yourself, you're not creating in your job, think of something else. Think of what you really want. Have that disconnect from the world a little bit. Remove all the distraction and listen to your heart. What do you really want?
Mm.
What is your passion? And this is where you will be successful at. And the success doesn't come suddenly. You have to give and you have to pay the cost, as we said, and you have to be willing and you have to be ready for it. You have to make the necessary beliefs, the
That's
necessary
right. Yeah.
changes. So,
Yeah.
what would be your last message to our audience?
I think last message is if it's something that you really want to do, um, find out about it. Find as much information about it as you can. Go and do it. There is nothing that will stop you if it's really something that you want to do, whether it's changing your career, whether it's changing your lifestyle. Again, very quickly, I used to be 30 kilos heavier 4 years ago. And again, it coincided with being 50. I think that 50 was like a magic number for me somehow. And I decided, enough is enough. I've got to do something about my health too. So I put in the steps. And, as you said, it's nothing comes easy. It's hard work and it really requires one person to be very persistent,
Hard at
very
the beginning,
consistent,
just to make it easier. Hard at the beginning,
hard at the
but later
beginning.
it will be effortless. Now it's if,
Of
yeah.
course, because you learn the tools, you learn ways of getting it,
Mhm.
So yeah, really, first of all, age is it really is a number. I have never felt as good right now. I'm 54 as I do right now. I feel completely empowered. I feel completely blessed to have made the changes in my life for the better of me and my family. And I'm excited, I'm excited for the future. I want to learn. I want to be inspired. I'm curious to find out about things. And I'm more energized than I've always been. So if it's something you really are passionate to do, if you have a vision in your head, find out how to do it, make the decision and do it.
I
And you
love
will
that.
never look back, really. So yeah, so I guess that would be
Let's
my
let's
message.
let's let's close it with our audience with something that practical thing is just write your want, think of what you really want, and ask yourself what is the one belief that's
Mm,
holding you back that you'll be
yeah.
working on, and what one skill set you will add for the next 6 months that you start impressing. And this is how you'll impact your life. You become closer to your goal and you create a quantum leap in your life. Thank you, Lara, for this, Hala,
Thank you
for
very
this amazing
much.
episode and looking forward to see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.